Hello and welcome to the Pokémon Teatime, your podcast about Pokemon and the Pokemon TCG. We are your hosts, Mr. Houndoom and the Pokemon Noob.
Hello.
Hello, how are you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good. It's been a very crazy week of Pokemon news.
Yeah.
Lots to talk about today.
The Pokemon week, if there's one week in the year to talk about Pokemon, it was really last week, and actually that was the reason for us to refrain from recording something during the week, because it was really looking like there could be anything popping up at any moment. So that's why we're a little bit late compared to what we planned to do, but I think it's the best time now because we can make a really nice recap of everything that happened last week. So yeah, as everybody knows, last week was the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, last Saturday the 27th of February 2021. So happy birthday, Pokemon!
Party.
Happy birthday, Pokemon!
It did feel like a birthday, really.
Yeah.
I felt like I should be cutting a cake and blowing some candles.
Yeah, I think like even the people on Instagram and so on were trying to do a little bit of something special. Like everywhere, it felt a bit like it was a special day, not just with the official Pokemon Company channels, but yeah, if you're a bit into the community, it was a special day, I think, for everybody.
Yeah, and it was nice to see some different posts as well. Obviously, Shining Fates is the recent set, and we've seen loads and loads of posts about that, but it was nice to see everyone's Gen 1 collections and different starter collections and whatnot. So yeah, it was really nice to see different posts.
Yeah, we had a lot, no matter where you were, even like I saw like some French TV shows that had some Pikachu. It was like lunchtime, the usual quiz show, and suddenly a Pikachu came on the stage, and the host was like, "Oh, happy birthday, Pokemon 25th anniversary today," and I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah." Speak of mainstream, that's as much mainstream as you can get.
And it even trended on Twitter as well. Even my own girlfriend sent me Pokemon gifts. She has no interest at all in it, and she was even getting involved. So
my boyfriend didn't send me any Pokemon gifts.
Missing out.
Yeah, it's okay. So yeah, I think we would like to do a little recap of everything that happened. We'll try to stay concise because there was a lot, as we mentioned. So during the whole week, we were kind of left in suspense, knowing that something was coming, but not on which day exactly. A bit like when you are a Nintendo fan and trying to follow up on the Nintendo Direct. Usually the announcement comes the day before. And I remember texting you on the Wednesday evening because there was still no announcement then, and telling you like, I don't think it's coming this week. It's going to be on Saturday right after the concert and so on. But I was wrong. On the Thursday, they announced that there will be a special Pokemon Direct, Pokemon Present, I think it was called, for Friday the 26th, so the day before.
And it was on Friday afternoon. Obviously, with all businesses and stuff, they only announce big releases on weekdays, so I think they left it as late as they could.
I think for press reasons as well, because the press obviously is absent from the office on Saturday and Sunday, and if you want to have news coverage for your company, for your brand, it's better if the journalists are at the office when stuff is happening. So
yeah, exactly. But it meant that it was a bit late in the day for us as well, because it was obviously set for Pacific time in America. So we got it at
4 p.m.
3 p.m. 4 p.m. European Central and 3 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for the UK.
Yeah, I stopped all of my activities to jump in. I was actually a few minutes late, so I watched kind of the delayed version of it, but I stopped my phone. I didn't want to spoil myself like half an hour before, because I could see already like some of the leaks were falling for the news, and just wanted to enjoy the event purely from a completely new viewer point of view, unaware of anything that would be announced.
Everyone hates a spoiler, and no one wants to find out through secondhand knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
But Joe, it was actually the first ever Pokemon Direct which I've ever tuned in for. I've tuned in for some Nintendo Directs in the past, but I broke my duck, as we would say here in the UK.
Congratulations. Yeah, there's pretty much one every year for the Pokemon Day anyways, but I think last year we got one for the Pokemon Day as well. I remember I thought it was very early in the year, because like the Pokemon Sword and Shield had just released a few months before. But yeah, it was Pokemon Day, so it has to happen at that time. So we had just before we jump into the announcement, I wanted to quickly congratulate the Pokemon Company, if they are listening, on the introduction. Yeah, exactly. On the introduction they have done for this video, which was really, really nostalgic. It was year after year, all of the actions that had happened for the franchise Pokemon, and I gotta say it made me quite emotional. I was like, oh my god, I remember that. I was there at that time. There was just like I think 3 or 4 years when I was not into Pokemon anymore, because I was a teen, and it was not cool anymore to like Pokemon. That's pretty much the only time when I was not. But then I recognized pretty much everything. So the only thing that I did not recognize was the e-reader tools that they were using for, I think, the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Never seen that before.
It just shows you as well how far we've come with technology, and how Pokemon has come along that journey.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the days when I had my Game Boy Advance, and you'd have the link cables so you could transfer Pokemon and stuff, and it was such a mess. But there was no other option, so you just did it. And it definitely nostalgic. And it was also interesting for me, because my Pokemon experience has been a bit dotted throughout the years. I've come and gone from it. And there was bits within there, like from the Nintendo DS era, which I haven't played any Sun and Moon games or anything like that. So it was interesting to see that. Yeah.
Everybody had something nostalgic and something to discover out of this video. But I think what also was kind of striking is that the amount of accessories and all of the equipment that you got with your games all along the year, a keyboard for the Nintendo DS, the Pokemon Walker that was released with the Hardcore Soul Silver, where you count your footsteps, and more recently with the Pokeball controller for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. So it's funny to, like, if you're a collector that likes to have all of the items, you must have a room that is really full right now, given all of the accessories that have been released.
Was there a camera as well for the Nintendo 64 Snap game? A camera attachment?
No. As far as I remember, there was no accessory for that game in particular. Would have been relevant.
Was it not? I thought I saw them take a picture, and then they stuck the picture onto a guide of some sort in the video.
Okay.
I wasn't too sure, but I was like, I was looking at it, and I was like, surely they didn't have camera technology back in the 90s.
No, I don't think so. It was a bit more rough. But so we said we wanted to be brief, and we are already starting to to stay a little long before. So just in terms of what's been announced, so we've had some recap reminder of Pokemon Snap, new Pokemon Snap that is coming for the Switch. But we've covered that last week, and there was really nothing new announced. It was just more visuals and a really nice trailer. I really enjoyed it, but Yeah, I think the big piece was the two other announcements. So you got first the rumors confirmed that Pokemon Diamond and Pearl were being remade. So the new names are official. It's not Timeless Diamond and Spaceless Pearl, or I've seen a lot of rumors around this kind of names on the internet, but it's actually Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, releasing in late 2021. So it's the game of 2021.
Yeah, I think what we need to also do is to take a tally of all of these different predictions we've got right, and it was one prediction that we called. And yeah, I think
it was one that was not really risky as a prediction. I think a lot of people were kind of saw it coming since months already. People were discussing these rumors that Diamond and Pearl were being remade. So I don't know. What did you think of the trailer that they showed?
Yeah, it's cool. Did this come out on the Game Boy Advance SP?
No, it was on the DS. It was the first DS game.
It was on the DS. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've played it. But yeah, it looks very much Link's Awakening-esque, doesn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I was a bit surprised by the direction that they were taking, to be honest with you. Because usually you would expect in the same style as the current gen in terms of the remake. That's what they have done for the past remakes, when they have done Hard Gold, Soul Silver, and Red Fire Red and Leaf Green, and also the Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. So was a bit surprised. They chose a different artistic direction for this. It's very, very true to the original game. It's more like if the game was released in 2021, but exactly with the same kind of spirit, with the same kind of characters, it was really something that surprised me a bit. I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed that the game was looking so simple, if I may say, or at least not like Sword and Shield.
Yeah, but we have to be realistic as well, right? These games, they cost hundreds of millions of dollars, don't they, to develop? And if they can develop a great experience at a fraction of the cost, and on time as well, I think that was probably the winning formula for them. Yeah,
and I think this game in particular, I think it's the first time that it's being developed by another company than Game Freak. It's being developed by ILCA. I think it means I love computer arts or something like that.
Yeah, and a lot of people kept talking about that. I was just like, I didn't understand the relevance of the developer. I didn't know the story behind it.
They don't have really a huge track record. They mentioned them in the direct as the developers behind the Pokemon Home. So that was supposed to be kind of reassuring, because that means that they have modelized every single Pokemon from the Pokédex already inside Pokemon Home, so they know what they're working with, so we can trust them with Pokemon as a license, as a franchise. But there is like we've seen that it's going to be a very faithful remake compared to the original game. And that's kind of interesting, because usually with this kind of trailer, when you get an announcement, you usually get new features like, oh, you can replay this, but this time you're going to have mega evolutions like they did for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, or you're going to have the new Pokemon from the new generations as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. Like, are we going to have really the faithful remake, and we are not going to have any Pokemon from later generations, or are we going to have something a little bit enhanced with features that were not there back then? It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I suppose I'm not too familiar with how often they release information on games prior to launch. But yeah, I assume they'll announce more about it.
Yeah.
But my point would be, I think it's very smart what they've done with the art style, because when they launch the next game, which is coming early 2022, which we'll talk about in a moment, it's going to be a massive step up in graphical, fidelity. So I think it'd be a major selling point for that game.
Yeah.
But then, do you reckon that would impact the price point on Diamond and Pearl? Would you
No, I
reckon
don't
that
think
would
so.
charge for?
No, it's going to be a full-fledged release, and you're going to have to pay your, I don't know, is it 55 or 50 pounds in the UK?
Yeah, it's currently £50 for Switch games. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's going to be the big release of Pokemon for 2021, and yeah, the big thing. So that the fact that they are hiring a different company to develop this one is very telling. So it means that they have pretty much 2 years to develop their next game. That we are going to move on right away after. And yeah, so just I wanted to ask you the question: Are you interested to buy them, and which version are you gonna buy?
Yeah, I think I'll definitely buy it. And I think, I haven't played the games in the past, so I'll have that nostalgic, representation there of
Yeah.
either hating or loving the game. So I'll have a totally fresh perspective to the story. But I think I'll probably get Diamond, because I think that will probably be the most popular version.
Yeah, but that's the trick with Pokemon games. If you get the more popular version, then you're losing a bit, because then you're going to look for the Pokemon from the other version, and they're going to be more difficult to find. So
Yeah.
actually, with that's how I do my choice usually with Pokemon versions. If
And
I see one
Diamond is
person, sorry.
Diamond is Dialga, right? And Pearl is Palkia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
D for Diamond, Dialga, and P for Palkia, Pearl.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So cool. So I will take the Pearl version. I'm definitely interested to play these. I have played them. I think not as heavily as some other games, because I feel like if I remember well, the pace was a bit slow, and so I think it was not. I would definitely say it's not my favorite episode, and also the theme of the gods and the religion and so on. It was a bit. It's not my favorite theme in Pokemon. I much prefer when it's about the relation between humans and Pokemon in more like animal pets rather than religion thing. So yeah, but yeah, definitely curious to see more. I really want to see what are going to be the new features for these games, because obviously it cannot be just a simple remake. But yeah. But let's move on to the big piece. Pokemon had their big card to play right after this announcement, and I think it took pretty much everyone by surprise. So the next game that they announced is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Sorry. So it's going to be a very different kind of experience compared to your usual Pokemon game. It's not going to be fighting gym leaders and trying to get to be the best Pokemon trainer in the world. It's going to be happening in the past of the Diamond and Pearl games, very very long time before, and so the humans are only living in like villages, and they have not necessarily explored everything there is to see in the land. And that's going to be the mission of the main character, is going to explore as much as possible the region of Sinnoh in a 3D environment with open world apparently mechanics, in order to complete the first Pokédex of history. So yeah, quite different from your usual Pokemon game. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think it's super super interesting. It's a total new take to the genre, and yeah, it's. I suppose the way you could look at it is Diamond and Pearl are Link's Awakening skins, and Arceus now is a Zelda Breath of the Wild sort of skin.
That's true, yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting how they've done that, and it's smart if they've been able to use the same sort of engines from those games. And I've heard great reviews on those games, so hopefully it should run well. But yeah, I suppose with it being all about Arceus and the start of Pokemon, I wonder if we'll see more legendary Pokemon early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be a little bit of a cross-generation thing as well, because we've seen that the starters are going to be from Gen 2, Gen 5, and Gen 7 respectively. And not the starters from Gen 4, so it's not going to be exclusively the Pokemon from the Pokédex of the Diamond and Pearl. So we are open to a surprise. I guess we can see we could see a Rayquaza popping up at some point. I don't know, but it's very exciting because just like you said, it's a bit like the Breath of the Wild from the Zelda franchise, but this time it's for the Pokemon franchise. It's very smart because I think since the release of Sword and Shield, the gamers were actually complaining a lot about Game Freak lacking ambition, really relying on their comfort zone and relying on the basics that they've done for years, like animations. I remember there was a lot of critiques regarding the graphics and the overall lack of ambition of Sword and Shield. And now seeing this, we can imagine that they've started developing this game even before Sword and Shield were released, because the game is releasing in 2022, and that's not the kind of game you can release in just a few months. So I find it kind of ironic retrospectively to apply the critiques that were made by the gamers to Game Freak and the Pokemon Company being too comfortable while they were actually doing their Breath of the Wild kind of game.
Well, one of the things that came to mind for me when I watched the trailer is I felt like the possibilities for this game are totally endless. And I feel that it's not going to be a standalone release. And I think this could potentially be Nintendo's first game as a service. And I think this is something that they could sort of, as a title, which they'll have run alongside whatever gen games they bring out. So whatever the 9th gen game will be, they'll have its own launch schedule, and then this game will run alongside it, kind of like Pokemon Go and other games that they have. But,
that's an interesting theory.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, it's possible because we know that the regions are connected to each other from the several games. So it's one big world. So we could imagine having Hoenn or Johto connected to Sinnoh somehow on the map by an expansion in the future or by a separate game. But that's the subtitles Arceus. Why do we have a second name already? Usually for Pokemon games you have Pokemon, and then below you have Diamond, Pearl, you have Red and Blue, and this time you have Pokemon Legends Arceus. That might be the premise of a new series of whether games or expansions coming from Pokemon Legends. I don't know, but I think you're onto something.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, one of those things they're gonna, I think the next update we hear is going to be massive because they obviously didn't release too much on it.
Yeah.
But I think people are going to go crazy for this. And could you imagine if it was a free roaming multiplayer world where you could just bump into other trainers trying to catch the same Pokemon?
Yeah.
And then you battle to try and catch it or something like that. It'd be like the anime.
I don't put too much on this prediction, to be honest, because I think if it was a multiplayer-based game, they would have highlighted that much more in the trailer. But just like you said, they showed their ambition but they didn't show anything else. We don't know what's going to be the mechanics exactly. We've seen that we can fight, but like, is it going to be really an RPG mechanic? We've seen that you could choose some moves, but we don't know much right now of what the game wants to do, and I mean, we know that they want to look like Breath of the Wild a bit. Like, even the trailer was built a bit like the trailers from Zelda Breath of the Wild, so that was also an interesting one. I've seen a lot of complaints about the graphics, though, that compared to like modern days open world games, this was looking really simple. The environments were looking a bit bare bone, like not too much vegetation, not too many Pokemon. I saw already a lot of people complaining about the graphics. If I had to make a personal reproach, I would say the animations of the Pokemon were really, really. I mean, it's obvious that it's still work in progress. They are not really. I remember seeing Chimchar, for example, really moving very mechanically. Not really. It just looked like it was placed there with a bit like a GIF, like not really fitting in the environment and just repeating the same animation over and over. So I think they still have a lot of work on this side. What are your thoughts regarding the technical ambition of the game?
Yeah, I think what we've seen is a very, very early build because the heads-up display icons and stuff looked like placeholder icons. It didn't look like it was anywhere near a final version. But I think another thing that people need to consider and be realistic on is the hardware. And, the Switch can only, power certain level of fidelity in graphics. And, Pokemon as well is not a game is trying to recreate like for like real life graphics. And I think people appreciate its art style. But then, it obviously has to show improvement, and if it can't get to a fidelity that is greater or equal to something like Breath of the Wild, then I think there's going to be a lot of complaints. But in the end of the day, you can't keep everyone happy.
I mean, Pokemon, the Pokemon games have always been a bit behind in terms of the modern. Compared to the other games that are released. I remember when Black and White were released, it was already after the Nintendo 3DS was released, and people were a bit confused, like, why did you choose to go for a 2D game while you have a bigger hardware on the 3DS that you could use for this game. And I mean, yeah, it's kind of in the DNA to not be a pioneer in terms of technicality in games.
It's a handheld game in the end of the day. It's not designed to be a home console game where you're playing it on a I don't know £5,000 PC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and but I think what we're seeing right now, it needs optimization. Of course, so it will definitely look better once the game is released. There's been rumors about potential upgrade of the Nintendo Switch to new hardware as well. So a little bit of technical issue here, but we're back. So yeah, we were saying that we should not expect from Game Freak to have something that is technically on par with games from a PS4, for a PS5, from an expensive PC. But yeah, I think we can be demanding as well. I mean, it's Pokemon; it's the biggest franchise in the world, and I mean, we are entitled to have some expectations for this kind of game. So I'm also expecting a lot of improvements from right now until the moment the game gets released. Anyways, moving on. So the Pokemon Direct was not the only thing that was organized for the 25th anniversary celebration, of course. One of the big events that happened was the concert from Post Malone. Concert let's take this word a little bit with a grain of salt, because it was actually just a 12 minutes video of Post Malone performing, I think, 3 songs in as a 3D model in a Pokemon world animated around him. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I didn't have massive hopes and anticipation for it. I appreciate Post Malone's music, but I'm not the biggest fan. But yeah, Joe, for something that, you know, it was a free-to-watch event, I think it was pretty cool. But yeah, it wasn't a concert at all. It was like 10 minutes long. It ended. I was like, it ended abruptly, and I was like, "Is that the end?" And I had to like refresh the stream like 4 times. It's like, it can't be finished, surely. That's not set.
Yeah, I think they overhyped a little bit the event, considering what it was actually. If it was anything like around 30 minutes, I would have said nothing. But like, come on, 12 minutes, you could definitely have done something a little longer. I'm sure Post Malone is an expensive artist, so you cannot necessarily demand too much. But yeah, in terms of duration, I was a bit disappointed. But otherwise, sorry.
Did they record it live? Do you reckon?
No, of course not. No.
Because they did in the UK here with the 5G launch. Rita Ora did a very similar live performance in a virtual reality sort of augmented reality environment, and they did it over the 5G network. And I wasn't too sure if they did something similar for this, because yeah, he did like do a couple of shout outs and stuff like that. So I don't know if he did it recently or if it was live.
You mean that video in particular?
Potentially, I don't know. It could have been like, you know, here's your room, here's your mocap suit, here's your mic.
No.
We're all synced up.
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think that's the kind of thing they took the time to review a long time before. This must have been released a long time before, for sure.
Yeah. I suppose it's the Pokemon company. They want to make sure he doesn't swear.
Yeah. No, it was definitely singing live, because, as you said, he was doing some like shout outs or like, it was definitely live performance, but not studio, that's what I mean. But I think, I mean, it was beautiful to watch. Honestly, I really enjoyed watching it because you see many different environments. Actually, I think that's on par with what we can expect for Pokemon Snap. So that's kind of interesting. But it also was a little bit awkward, let's be honest. Him on this platform traveling around and never reacting to anything that's happening around him. Like, just imagine being in a volcano with a Charizard next to you, teasing you, and just not minding anything and just keeping on singing on whatever you're doing. I think it's a bit it was a bit awkward and felt a bit out of place from time to time, if you want my opinion. But overall, I was very happy with it. I think it was very entertaining, and I like the songs. I was surprised because I thought this guy was a rapper, and with songs that were really rap only, and I was wrong. He has more like pop, and what we heard was definitely more pop, if not country. So I was surprised positively, because I'm not a rap fan at all. What did you think of the music?
I've listened to plenty of his stuff in the past. His music is commonly played on the radio here in the UK, so I knew what to expect. He's not too bad. But I think what's really interesting about this whole thing now is that they're creating Pokémon 25 album. Yeah,
that's correct. It's just the start of an operation that they are doing all around the year. So that was just the beginning. The P25 music celebration has just begun. We know that Katy Perry is going to be part of it. They've teased her first, actually, back in January when they released their first teaser for the 25th anniversary. They announced other artists like J Balvin. I have no idea who this is once more.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, good. So yeah,
you're not a boomer quite yet.
I'm not that old. It's fine. Yeah, so what they announced is that they are releasing an album, a real album with songs that are being really made for this event in particular, which is quite interesting actually. It's a bit random, if I may say, because that's not necessarily the kind of thing you would expect for a celebration of franchise like Pokemon. So very interesting.
Yeah, it's really random. And my question is, are they going to release it as a studio album and ask people to pay for it, or is it just going to be something they release on YouTube? What did you see?
Well, I checked on their website, and we cannot pre-order anything right now. The only thing you can do is like when you're on Spotify, you can add the album to your list and the things you want to listen in the future. So it looks like it's going to be available on streaming platforms, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's. I mean, we can only speculate at that point, but I mean, it would make sense in a way to have it released as a real album if the songs are all original song released for this occasion in particular. What do you think?
I suppose so. But with media like this, you always expect it to be tied along with something else, and especially with it being like a corporation, this would be tied to like a movie, which maybe might be announced.
True, that was one of the things that we could have seen during the week last week. Announced like second Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, and maybe we might have seen it if it wasn't for COVID. Maybe there was delays in the recording of that film.
Yeah,
last year.
You never know. I mean, it's a bit of a strange time for any release anyway. But 25th anniversary special album. Okay, why not? I'll definitely listen to it. But
I think it goes back to a point we made. I think it was at the last podcast where we basically mentioned. I think Pokemon just wants to be in every single medium, whether that be TV, mobile phone apps, game console games, anything. If there's ever a space to be, earned, they'll go after it, and it looks like they're going after music as well now.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think Pokemon just wants to prove that they are not just a game franchise anymore, and that they're not just an anime franchise anymore, and that they can also grow onto the music. It's just like if a corporation like Disney was making an album with different collaborations with different artists. Actually, I would not be that surprised. So yeah, why not after all? And of course, we have to talk about it, the Logan Paul box break of the first edition base set. Did you watch it? It was very, very late for us. I didn't watch it on my side because I think it was like at 3 or 4 a.m. in the night. And as much as
I think it started at 4 a.m. for you, I think. 2 a.m. for me, or 2 a.m. Yeah, crazily late. But I did. I'm not a Logan Paul fan, but I didn't plan to. I did. I stayed up, watched it, and it was a bit sickening to see a £1 million box or $1 million box of cardboard being opened up. And as much as I love Pokemon, it was a bit surreal, really.
I think you could see the thrill as well from Logan while he was holding the cards, and like at the moment when he pulled the Charizards, you could definitely see him like his hands were shaking and like a bit scared because he was carrying so much value in his hand at that moment, and of course he didn't want to damage anything. So yeah, there was definitely a lot on the table during that opening.
Yeah, and as you can see, yeah, he pulled all the starters. He pulled 2 Charizards, a Blastoise, and a Venusaur. So yeah, it was quite the box. And I think unfortunate, which was unfortunate for him. He opened, I think, like the first 3 packs, and he got a Clefairy, Charizard,
Chansey. He got like 3 Chansey.
Chansey.
Yeah.
That's it. Sorry, Chansey. It was like Chansey, Charizard, Chansey, and then it was like Charizard, then Blastoise, and yeah, it was just mental. Like the first
It
hour.
was crazy. Yeah, the first few packs, I think a third pack was containing the Charizard, and then the second Charizard came like at the 10th pack. And then what do you do with the 25 left?
Yeah, I know. I think, yeah, he saw it and was like, well, the odds are there's only going to be 12 hollows in this, and there's like 20 packs left. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I think what was really unfortunate though is that it was a great box for the people who got a hollow, because there were some great hollows pulled.
Yeah.
But for the non-hollows, they were shocking. It was mostly trainer cards, trainer items, and so very unfortunate for those people paying 40k for those packs. Yeah,
well, I mean, it was a different audience this time. We know that it was not necessarily the collectors. We know that Unlisted Leaf didn't get his pack this time. We know that Randolph Pokemon didn't get his pack this time. So it was people who, I guess, cared a bit less about the pool that they were going to get, and a bit more about being part of the event. But I agree with you. I think I've watched it on replay, and all the big things are happening in the beginning, and by the end it gets a little bit boring, if I may say, compared to the beginning, because I mean, with such a strong start, where can you go after? And I think even like the level of energy of Logan was a bit lower, if I may say, by the end. Like I remember him pulling the Mewtwo. I think it was the very last pack, putting the Mewtwo, and I was like, oh yeah, and there's a Mewtwo, and it was not like oh my gosh, like with the Charizards.
Yeah, I think you make a very interesting point about the audience, and God, 99% of all the people who bought the packs were crypto investors. Every shout out was an ad, and it was like, come and check out my crypto business and buy crypto through my website and follow me on Instagram because I talk about crypto. And it's just like, oh my God, like it's so annoying. But the highlight of the shout out was this guy called Jesse, I believe, and he shouted out Randolph, and he had bought 2 packs, and unfortunately didn't get a hollow. Yeah, he bought 2 packs, and he gave a 80k shout out to Randolph.
Wow.
Which is crazy. Like Leon Hart, Unlisted Leaf, none of those YouTubers got the shout out, but
wow,
really insane.
UK was strongly represented during the box break. Then that's funny.
Yeah.
Okay. What else can we say about this box break? Yeah, you wanted to talk about the different people who were in the room at that moment, aside from Logan.
So Logan got a new expert, or I should say, in commas, experts in the room to give pricing info and information on the quality of the cards that were being pulled. It was the CEO and founder of Golden Auctions.
Okay.
The auction site which auctioned off the 24 packs for this box break. It was obviously a massive conflict of interest. Every card that this guy was given, he was like, this is a 10, 100%, flawless. And a lot of the cards did look good, but the second Charizard that was pulled, you could see it had some centering issues. And he was like, oh, this is flawless, this is a 10, this is going to be worth $750,000. And it's like, you're only saying this because you want to inflate the prices of Pokemon cards that come through your website.
Yeah.
Which, and the more value that they sell at, the higher the buyer's premium is. So, yeah, it's just another collectibles guru type
trying to
guy.
make some money on the hobby.
Yeah.
And now that you mention it, I'm actually interested to see if these golden auctions are still selling Pokemon cards right now. But
well, yeah, he actually gave an anecdote about a Charizard that is currently up for sale, and that Charizard was up for sale while the live stream was going, and he's like, it's like 400k now, and it's going to end on Monday evening. We believe it's going to go for $800,000 or something like that.
Okay.
And yeah, just really pushing it.
Yeah.
But if you move on, we had the delight of seeing Collectibles Guru. He made it. He found his way onto the stream.
He made it back. Man.
He's like a boomerang. No matter what happens, he always comes back.
I know a lot of people were happy not to see him in the trailer for this event, because when Logan released the first video at the beginning of February, you could see a lot of collectors that were really heavily into the hobby. I remember people being very happy seeing faces that they knew, and also being very happy that he was not among the faces in this video, because this guy has quite the reputation, let's say. After the first box break, there was a bit of a few like scandals related to this guy, and pretty much everybody realized that he was not a genuine Pokemon collector, and that he was not really caring so much about whether it is a Pokemon that he likes or not, to say it politely. So yeah, it's pretty much one of the antagonists of the Pokemon hobby right now.
Yeah, but, I think the audience of the box break this time around is probably more welcoming to him, because if all of the ads were targeting people who love crypto, this guy he is crypto, this is where he found his fame. Yeah. So yeah, people probably wasn't too annoyed to see him if they were watching. But
and he was at the very end when there was the least amount of people, right?
Yeah, so that was fortunate.
Yeah, good for him.
But what's really annoying is he did get that really nice
Mewtwo
first edition Mewtwo, which is one of my favorite cards. So quite annoying that someone like him got that.
Yeah, that would be my number 4 after the 3-starter would be the Mewtwo, and So what do you think? Do you think we're going to see another first edition base set box break anytime soon from Logan again? We know that he has a couple of boxes still.
Yeah, he did say this could be an annual event. Mm-hmm. So I think he's weighing up the options to see if there is demand for one to happen in the next few months. But I don't think there's any milestones which would, give him the sort of reason to do another box break. And I don't think, I think for him to make the money back, the hype needs to be in the hobby. Yeah. And they need people to be watching, because these people are not going to pay X amount of money or 40k for another pack if only, 10 to 50,000 people watch it. This time round, they were quite fortunate, and they had, I think, 250,000 concurrent viewers at one point. But yeah, if he can't keep that viewership up, then the interest is not going to be there from the buyers.
Yeah, and we have to keep in mind that Logan Paul is not a Pokemon collecting channel. It's how do you call that? An all-rounder kind of entertainer that does a lot of YouTuber, but admittedly if he's also a YouTuber, but I've seen videos that he made on his channel with the Marvels, or also doing stuff regarding entrepreneurship, and so it's really touching a little bit of everything. So I think his channel is not the right place for long lasting and regular Pokemon content, but like you say, like if it's like once a year, maybe it's gonna do it again. But yeah, seeing how the level of energy that he had at the end of the video, to be honest, I don't think this time around he went to bed thinking I have to do it again.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. And I think in the video he did announcing that he was doing another box break. You could sense that video of him searching and seeking for those new boxes was done very shortly after the first box break. So he probably had that buzz and he was like, right, I need to stay on this, and obviously work behind the scenes to get those boxes. But Joe, what, even if he doesn't do any other box breaks, he's made his money back. He made $1 million off the sale of the box, plus he made 5 to 6 million apparently on NFT crypto off the back of it.
Okay.
And he's got 5 first edition books. Yeah, 5 first edition booster boxes left. Yeah. And he opened the one that was opened previously as well. So he's got 5 other booster boxes now, which are mint.
Which are also the most risky in a way, because nobody checked if the packs were legit. But and what did I want to say? Okay, it's just never mind. I was thinking of the first edition boxes. And the fact that people might actually get a little bored now by it. I mean, it's the second time that it happens within a few months, and I think the hype is still there. But yeah, I mean, if we see this kind of events happen too often as well, I think the viewership is going to reduce as well slowly, and the interest is going to move away a little bit. But what I wanted to say, I remember now, sorry, is that now that he has this pedigree with the PSA, it would make sense that he still does it in the future, like not for himself, but like open it for other people again. So there's arguments for both sides.
Yeah, and another point on that, actually, I don't know if you are aware, they actually had a PSA representative at the event.
Yeah, I think...
Sorry. Yeah, they actually then took the cards directly to PSA to get graded straight away, with apparently an armed guard. Obviously, the cards are worth $1 million, if you think about it. But yeah.
Some local card shops are getting robbed for less than that. Huh? So
true. Yeah, it's crazy stuff happening. But I think another interesting point that was made during the stream is the guy's name is Mike. You know, the guy that does this stuff with him, who sat next to him. He was saying, because he was talking to the expert, and the expert was saying, well, this Charizard is going to grade a 10, and we believe it's worth $750,000. And by the time they pulled a second one, he's like, well, that's $1.5 million. And he's like, actually, you've made a loss on this box because you sold it for $1 million, but the value of the cards inside is worth more.
It's still higher. Yeah. It's crazy when you think about it. When you think about the price the boxes were sold for, which was around $350K each, and when you think of the value of the cards that are being pulled from the box, it's a multiplier again by I don't know, 5 or 6.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy when you think about it. So so a good operation for Mr. Paul. And I mean, considering the success of this event, even though the viewership was not that much higher than the first box, I think that's something that is that we are going to see again in the future, if not by him, by others, because it's we found an event that is going to bring viewers, bring people to bid or to give their money, and I think it's not the last time we see a box break of the first edition base set on YouTube. Moving away from the 25th anniversary topic, I think there's one other big news. We've not talked that much about car. I mean, we've talked about the Logan Paul box break, but really news related to the card collecting hobby. I think one big piece of news that just released today in the morning when we are recording this podcast is the increase, and quite a big increase actually, of the prices offered by PSA for their services for grading cards.
These are the direct prices. So these are not the prices you pay when you go through dealers. These are the prices you pay when you send direct to PSA. I'm not too familiar with the pricing before, but I do know the value was at $10 per card. So that's a double. That's an increase. 100% increase on that value. But are you familiar with the other pricing?
As far as I know, it's doubled for everything. I don't think there was Super Express. I think was $150 before. So I think everything has pretty much doubled in price. And this has been quite a bit of how to say, like, bad news for a lot of people in the hobby, because people who were waiting for things to calm down in order to submit their cards, like collectors but also flippers, who have been trying to collect cards that have potential higher value when they are getting a good grade, and suddenly they have to pay twice for the investment they have to they have to give to a PSA in order to get the cards, because you have to keep in mind that a lot of people are using like the Express and Super Express services in order to get the new cards quickly in the nature, like just like, for example, the shiny Charizard VMAX from the Shining Fates set. People, there's a lot of people who want to have them graded as fast as possible to be the first people to sell them as a PSA 10 on the market, and then make the most revenue out of it, because if you're the first, then you're going to attract some buyers. I think we all remember that story with the shiny Charizard GX from Hidden Fates that sold, I don't remember for how many, but I think it was like above $20,000, if I'm not wrong. Even though it was just a modern card, and but the person who bought it just wanted it as quickly as possible, and in the best quality you could get. So that's going to definitely challenge the business these people were making.
I think it's a bit of a split sort of opinions on this one, because I think the flippers, it hurts them really badly, because people are not just going to instantly overnight pay the difference of their grading costs for the card that they're looking for. And then I think secondly, I think this is very good news for collectors, long-term collectors, because a lot of those collectors have obviously got their cards graded, and I think this sort of will prop up the market a bit for a bit longer, and we won't see that price crash, because if grading fees are this amount now, it will put off a lot of people from grading cards, and which means we should see a slower number of PSA slabs enter the market, and it shows, I think.
We might see a bit less regular full arts V or regular, or I've even seen some reverse holos being graded. So I think people might think twice about the cards that they want to send now, because there is no cheap way of doing it anymore. Which is good, because then that means that first you're going to have less cards to be taken care of by PSA. So that means that once they have taken care of their backlog, they can maybe move on a little bit faster, because there's going to be a bit less people pulling the cards. And just like you said, the value of the slabs might at least remain the same a little longer, or even increase, because of the cost of grading just increase. So that's an interesting one, and it's also good news for other grading institutes. We can think of CGC right now, which is both the fastest and the cheapest for their services. If you want to submit cards with CGC right now, it's basically 3 times cheaper, I think, than PSA. So that's nice.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting play. I think from PSA, because I don't think they're scared of the competition coming into the market, and I think they want to be seen as the premium players.
Yeah.
And I think the whole essence as well of the service that they offer is they don't want people to come and get every single card within their binders graded. Yeah. It's supposed to be those prize trophy cards that get graded. And if you think about it, it is a very premium service. Your card is being handled manually by experts, which can authenticate these cards and have historical experience and knowledge, and which comes in time. It's not an automated thing where robots just scan a card and put it in a plastic slab. It's a human element to it. So yeah, I see where they're going with it. I think they want to be the premium player in the market, and it gives opportunity to see for other players, like, as you said, CGC and stuff to come into play here. But
and even smaller grading institutes in Europe, because we are recording from Europe, of course, which might have been in the shadow of the American grading companies, but might get also an opportunity for them right now. So that's actually, I think, a good thing for us European collectors as well, because we won't be competing with people sending hundreds of cards who do not need to worry about custom fees or delivery fees at the other side of the planet. So that might give us...
I think it gives people as well that flexibility, right? To go, if it's cheaper and faster, you can get more cards graded. And if you play the long game and keep hold of your cards for, like, let's say 20 years, if those cards become super value, you can then choose to regrade them with PSA if there is a premium value to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they might just look at CGC as a way of maintaining the quality of a card by getting it slabbed. I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting point in time. But I think it was something we all saw coming, because we hear from Graded Gem, they're sending out like 50,000 cards a month, and they're covering the UK, and they obviously have their European hubs as well. And they're not the only players in the market sending cards to PSA. So it's just, if you think about it, how many cards do you reckon, like, realistically a person could grade a day?
Yeah, I don't know.
100 cards?
Yeah.
And that would be a lot.
Yeah, just imagine the number of, you have 8 hours in a day. If you want to spend, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes per card. I mean, that might be a bit much, 2 or 3 minutes per card, but yeah.
Well, you say that, but they have to be very... Yeah, they have to be careful with the grades, because it has to be consistent.
Yeah.
They can't have some cards getting a 10 when they're obviously a 9 or an 8, or vice versa. But it's just, I think, we all think of it as a process that send my cards off, want it back straight away. But it is a very premium service, and I think only recently is something that the mass market has got involved with. I think before it was very niche. It was a very niche thing where people like King Gary, whatever his name is, was getting involved with.
No, at least for Pokemon, the
I
collectible kind of aspect that is related to Pokemon cards is still quite recent, and not even mentioning the collectability of modern cards, because this is actually a very recent trend as well. When you hear long-time collectors that have been maybe grading cards already 3 or 4 years ago, saying that back then people were not bothering grading anything post Wizards of the Coast era. that really says in terms of how the market has changed since then, and I think that justifies once again why a company like PSA is increasing their prices, because there has to be a limit, and if they want to keep the premium, and like if every single card gets graded, then the value will of course go down for graded cards, and it's losing a bit of its premium value, and that's not good for PSA either. So I think they have all of the interest, or their best interest in mind by doing that, and I think it might be a good thing for the market as well. But
yeah, and it's probably at the best interest of their staff as well, because could you imagine being like a veteran authenticator of like 20 years, and then you just like ended up having to grade and authenticate like 2,000 Sword and Shield cards?
Yeah.
You would just be like, God, like I didn't sign up for this. And, you know, my expertise is
I can't see that shiny Charizard V anymore.
I know, exactly. But yeah, there's so many different variables at play. But yeah, it's an interesting time.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. And I mean, for us, it's not going to impact the way we collect that much, because we are still new to grading ourselves. We are part of this this new wave that we just described a few minutes ago. So I don't think it's going to influence the way I collect cards. Maybe I might put more value in a PSA slab myself, and if I really want a card, maybe I try to get as a slab first rather than thinking I could grade it myself. But I don't think it's going to change much in the way I collect cards.
Yeah, and definitely in the short term, I don't think it will. Maybe in the long term, but in the short term, you're not, because you're not just going to overnight pay, you know, $50 to $100 more for a graded card.
No,
because you want it now.
I mean, we'll keep an eye on trends, of course, because it might be just the beginning of another price increase on the value of slabs in the future. But yeah, I don't see it happening right now.
Just fingers crossed my recent submission doesn't get caught up in this. I sent out some cards in February. Yeah,
I mean, once they acknowledge they received the cards, they cannot charge you the price that they advertise after they receive the cards, can they? Like, it's not fair for the consumers.
It was done for graded gem, so hopefully they submitted the cards up.
The last point we wanted to discuss today is Europe, because we are okay, let's say it's been a difficult few weeks for us as card collectors. A very difficult few weeks, if I speak from my own perspective. We've seen the US get problems in terms of the supply they were getting for the new sets, Shining Fates in particular, but also all of the other new products like the McDonald's promos or any kind of cards. Like, it's been difficult to get them in the US, and it's not even worth mentioning getting them in Europe. So yeah, I just wanted to end this podcast by giving our audience a little bit of a complaint from our side, if I may say, regarding all of the new products that are being released right now. So
what new products?
What new products exactly? I don't think. Well, first of all, it's very hard to shop physically right now in countries in Europe. I think for the UK, you can go to shops where they sell food, and for Switzerland, they just reopened the shops 2 days ago, on the date that we are recording this podcast. So we have not had access to a physical shop since weeks. I think it was at the end of January when they decided to close everything. So it's been pretty much a month and a half for me that I did not step in a shop where they were selling Pokemon cards. And it's right now, it's almost 3 weeks after the release of Shining Fates. I have never seen in my physically a single pack of Shining Fates, whether it is in a store or whether it is the pre-orders that I have made. And yeah, so I just wanted to.
I'd make a point. You made your pre-orders like the first day they were available.
Yeah, exactly. Back in December.
Yeah.
So had high expectations, but that just means that right now I think we're going to approach the hobby a little bit differently than we were doing back in December when we were buying Champions Path packs or Vivid Voltage booster boxes when it was just released, and that gives us a little bit of a step back perspective on the market as well. Yeah, so just so you know, if you're on Instagram posting the kind of picture that we are showing right now, showing the 25th anniversary binder with the giant promo Pikachu, we are very jealous. We are very jealous because we don't have access to these cards, to these products in Europe. There is very limited stock everywhere, and
I've not seen one person post within the UK about these jumbo promos.
Yeah.
So maybe there's people who have shipped them across from America, but I've heard of no one actually buying these in the UK. So I don't even think any of them have made it across. But this was something that was supposed to be released on last Friday, 26th of Feb.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, we have heard no update at all from Pokemon about when these will be available. They said it would be a global release.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just
it's already delayed. Without any words from the Pokemon company or the distributors, or it's products that were not even put up to pre-orders. So like even the retailers, they have no idea regarding this product. So that's a little bit worrying for us. So like, and I've heard as well for battle styles that there might also be allocation problems. So I think it's something that like we just need to take a step back, like you just said, and try to focus on other things and not just the most recent things.
Unfortunately, this is the story for the rest of the year. I think once the initial announcement of the heavy allocations for Shining Fates, myself and you made the prediction that I think this is going to be something that's going to impact the whole year of releases, because once you get one knockback, everything else gets knocked back because they're working their asses off to try and make sure they deliver Shining Fates at some point.
Yeah.
Unless they cut something. But I doubt they'll cut something.
Well, and we don't know what they have in plans for the rest of the year. I mean, we know that we have an Evolution set that is coming our way. So once again, trying to keep my eyes away from this, at least at release, because it's going to be super hard to get access to any of these sets. And
one stat I'd like to mention though is I've seen quite a lot of polls being done by Pokemon YouTubers on YouTube, from PTCG Radio to Poker Rev to Randolph to Unlisted Leaf to Twice Baked Jake. All of them have done polls on, have you been able to get your hands on Shining Fates? I've answered on all of them, and the most common percentage I've seen for people who have not been able to get their hands on it is around 70%. And it's crazy to think that 70% of collectors can't get their hands on Shining Fates.
Yeah.
It's mental.
It is mental, yeah. And and just like we are pretty much 3 weeks after the release of Shining Fates right now, so it's also crazy to think that even we were expecting delays, but not from that.
I've as you know, I've been quite fortunate. I've had quite a few packs arrive, but
you're in the lucky ones for sure.
I'm one of the lucky ones, but as I've mentioned to you privately, it's not been as fun for me this time, because obviously the whole part of opening Pokemon packs and is sharing your cards, and if you feel like you can't share your cards with people without and seeing other people's cards, like we always like to share each other's pools. If you can't do that, then that's like half the fun. So which is really annoying. But what I found out today is I reached out to one of the retailers which I have a pre-order with, and they teased me massively. They basically said, so I've got an order for a Eevee Hidden Fates,
ETB?
Eevee Shining Fates ETB. I've got 4 crazy pin collections, and I've got the VMAX box as well. But what they've done is they haven't fulfilled that order because they're waiting for the VMAX box to be released so they can fulfill it all at once. But then today they've also announced that there's a delay to the VMAX box release as well. So it looks like the way they phrased it is that they've got the stuff waiting in the warehouse, but they're just not going to send it because they're waiting for that one product.
Yeah, I think retailers are also kind of abusing our money and our love for Pokemon, and I have myself pre-ordered some products from some of the Swiss retailers, and paid my orders a month ago already, and the products are not coming. They're giving news that they have no news pretty much from their suppliers and so on. So I've actually made the request to cancel one of my pre-orders, because I was like, what's even the point having that many products pre-ordered when you can't get the products anyways 3 weeks after the release. So I tried to cancel the pre-order, and in Switzerland it's legal to deny the request of the cancellation of a pre-order, and this retailer told me like, no, it's not possible. And so yeah, we're 3 weeks after the release of Shining Fates, and I've paid my order in January, and the retailer has kept my money since then, and is not willing to give it back to me under any circumstance, even though he's not in a position to fulfill the order. So I think it's going to be the last time that I pre-order anything. To be honest, I think it's not worth. So yeah, like just, I mean, I know it sounds a bit like pointless, the complaint that we are having right now, the rant that we're having right now, because there's really nothing we can do about it, and there's not much to say about it. But like, I just wanted to mention this, as our approach to the hobby is necessarily going to be changing in the next few weeks or months, because it's apparently a problem that's going to be ongoing for the whole year, and we might try to focus a bit less on the latest and greatest that is being released. Like, we might not do a review of the newest sets and try to get ourselves excited about it 2 days before the set, and then realize that we are actually not getting any packs for the next month or 2 months or so because of supply problems. So yeah, it's just as the general direction for the podcast that might influence the next episodes, and just so you're all aware of this. And if you're in the same situation as us, we are with you. we feel the pain as well. That concludes the podcast for today. Quite a bit of a long episode. I think today there was a lot to discuss. So I want to thank you once again for following us, to listen to the podcast to the end. If you're on YouTube, we invite you to like and subscribe as usual. That would be super nice, and we will really appreciate.
Leave us some comments.
Exactly, leave us some comments. Any interaction we really appreciate. We will reply personally to anything you send our way. Otherwise, you can find us on Instagram personally. I'm Mr. _Houndoom, and you're the Pokemon Noob.
Yeah, I am, and yeah, it's been great. Lots covered today, and and hopefully, things turn out to be better in the next couple of weeks, and we can, get our hands on more Shining Fates, or you can get some at least. But yeah, the hobby's taken a different turn at the moment. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, we're happy to continue talking about Pokemon and share our, love for the hobby.
Absolutely.
So, thanks
and I think I think it's been a few episodes that are very news focused because there's been a lot of news to analyze, but we're going to come back to a bit more of a structured kind of a podcast when we also give our takes on certain trends or certain causes are not necessarily related to the news. So yeah, it's been a fun couple of weeks, especially the last week, and we expect things to calm down a little bit now. But we are still going to be super excited to review things with you, and we invite you to follow us in the next episode once again. So thank you very much for following us today, and we will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.